Jai Sri Ram, everybody. How are you all doing? Great to have you, Mahesh ji from Mangaluru, PhD student, and representing ABVP there, and UA BJP, and Dr. Patil is here, who is from Mysuru, and he is biotechnology, very successful person. We are happy to have him here, and we have Vinay ji. Vinay ji is from Toronto, Canada. Mahesh ji, what is happening in Mandya? Why you guys are protesting and asking for Hanuman Mandir?
Not only Mandya, you just don't isolate the Mandya issue. From Kashmir to Kanyakumari, I want to draw your attention to the historian Sitaram Goel's book, which is released in 1990. He has mentioned 1,880 temples there, and it is not at all. As per me, as per the surveys I have conducted and the things I have read, there are more than 30,000 temples all over India. Sir, I repeat, 30,000 temples which was destroyed by Mughal emperors. Now, coming to Mandya or Karnataka, in Sitaram Goel's book, there are 192 places already indicated in 1990, almost 32 years back. So, the Mandya one, or the recently which has come up one more in Mangalore, they are just the indications. There are so many more. So just don't keep your debate only for Mandya. Mandya, they have shown the strength, they have shown the courage to come out and fight for it. For the naked eye, it is visible there. It is a temple which was destroyed and later it is converted into mosque. So when we can see in our naked eyes, we have the daring to claim it now.
Yeah, come on, how many you are going to... Okay, let me ask Vinay ji. Vinay ji, what is happening here? Okay, I agree that many mosques, temples got converted into mosque, but you are not living in Hindu state of Hindu republic or whatever. You are living in a secular country, where we had to respect everybody's feelings. Okay, and how many mosques you are going to capture and convert? Okay, they got converted. That's a history. Now in Russia is pounding all the churches and monuments in Ukraine. Every invader does that, right? So what are you going to do? You are going to change everything or what?
Namaste ji. So what has happened is in the last at least Karnataka history, in the last about 250 years, going back to the 1700s, that's the era of Tipu Sultan, who was one of the major rulers in the Srirangapatna, Mysuru, and that area, right? I mean, obviously he did not expand too much, but he kind of, his focus was mainly Srirangapatna was his capital. And he spread to Malabar and a few other areas. But if you go back to the history, a lot of atrocities were committed during that era, and especially on the Hindus.
Okay, so, you know what? We agree. We agree this. We are on the same page on it. But the question is this is a solution? Mahesh says we will go and convert all the mosques back to temples. Is that going to do any favor for anybody?
I mean, I kind of I'm on the fence on this, because a lot of times you have to look at what exactly has happened, if there is still historical evidence and stuff like that. For example, what is happening in Gyanvapi in Uttar Pradesh, right? So they have found evidence, they've found a Shivaling and stuff like that. And there is historical evidence there, and you got to see like the magnitude of the problem. Like you can't just base it off of something like there's a hearsay that there was a Hanuman Temple inside the Jamia Masjid.
Are you in favor of converting the Mandya Mosque, Jama Masjid to Hanuman?
All of them, but if the Archeological Society of India and the if they have proper evidence, not based
let's assume they have it.
Right. Okay.
Here is a government which was not even so weak, they were not even able to, stop the CIA protest.
Right.
And, you're going to do mosque to mosque. Are you going to do this?
I mean, again, you got to, this is going to create a huge communal divide in India.
Is that what
And
we want?
this is what we don't want. And we don't want this communal divide, obviously. But at the same time, you got to think about, the sentiments of the Hindu community who have been suppressed all these years by the politicians who have actually given the minorities, the so-called minorities, which is the Muslim community, which is the second largest in India, religion wise, and it's one of the biggest in the world in the Muslim community. So, but it's all about appeasement, right? So at the same, so like what I'm saying is, end of the day, you got to look at you don't want to do a communal divide here, but if there is strong evidence, yes, sure, I'm in favor of it.
Okay, let me quickly get a rebuttal from Maheshji, and then I will go to Patilji.
Imagine is single communal tension in India year after word. The days are gone. It is ours. The temples are ours. If we have to maintain the status quo, then why we needed the independence from British? We could have continued that way only. Many of us could have got an easy visa for UK or USA. The only reason we got independence from British is to have our own country with our own ideology, with our own culture. What Congress failed for 6 decades, it's going to happen now. Scientific evidences are there, historical evidences are there, and the historians, not only Indian historians, the Mughal, the Muslim historians, the British historians, whatever they have written, it can be served as a proof for the claiming of these temples. So we will claim all 30,000 temples back. The meaning of Param Vaibhavame Tume Tattva Rashtra means taking the Mother India to its past glory is not just by economical development, with a cultural development and the sacred places, the Jyotirlingas, the Shakti Pitas, we are going to reclaim each and everything.
Wow. Okay, Patilji, what you have to say with?
I totally agree with what Maheshji and Vinayji says. I think Vinayji is more in the middle path, whereas Maheshji is very clear. We will claim each and every temple.
Yeah, he wants to claim all. He wants to create a communal rift in India. He doesn't like people living peacefully. That's what they say.
Well, that is what you are reading, or somebody else is reading. People who oppose this are reading. But is that to begin with, this country is divided based on the religion. Sir. Let's first understand this. This country is divided into 3 parts based on religion. This fact nobody can deny. Fine, we are a secular country, all that is good. But are we living harmoniously? Is the question. Being secular is okay, but this is a pseudo-secularism. Have one set of rules to one community, the largest community, the silent majority, the Hindus, and have this appeasement policies for the other communities. How long you will take it? How many generations have to go through this is the question.
You have gone to Mandya.
Yes, I've been to.
You said it's true what Maheshji says. There are a lot of proof for the Jama Masjid you can see.
I have much more details first hand. Of course, there's some from the net also. Let me briefly read it out. So this Jama Masjid is exactly 18 kilometers from my house. Door to door, I'm saying. Right? 18 just 18 kilometers. To give a little historical perspective, the Tipu Sultan, in Kannada we call him Tippe Satan. Tippe means, I think the Maheshji will understand. Tippe means literally Kudedan,
But by the way, Vinayji also can speak Kannada, okay? All are
wonderful
here except me.
Wonderful. So you will understand what is Tippe means, sir. So because I hate to call him whatever name it is. He's a Satan, he's not a Sultan. So he wrote a letter to this guy, Badru Suman Khan. He's a Persian, by the way, sitting in Calicut in 1790, boastingly that he converted how many? 4 lakh Hindus into Islam in one day. There is a proof for this. Okay, this letter is there. And the British historian Lewis Rice, he's educated in Mysore, by the way. He was the first IAS officer in Mysore state. He has written a very detailed document called Mysore Gazetteer. I'm sure you will be aware. This somewhere in 1930s he has written. Because he studied in Mysore, he is quite well versed with all the scriptures, the Sanskrit, the Kannada, everything he knows. He's a British gentleman. So he has also written, noted very clearly in this Mysore Gazetteer, the presence of Kalyani. Kalyani is known as the pond, okay, and the dug well, the well within the complex of this Jamia Masjid, which I have seen myself. Kalyani means basically a pond.
Pond, okay.
A pond created within the temple complex,
Right.
For storage of water.
Okay.
This is used for mainly, the
Puja
temple,
part, Abhishek.
Puja part. Yes, Abhishekam and all that. So that is Kalyani. And then there is also a well, which is dug, which is much later probably. And it is still active. There is water inside this.
You are saying this in Jama Masjid in Mandya.
This is within the Jamia Masjid complex. Yes, yes. And there are all the pillars, which are now covered with a lot of cement and all that, painted also. Very clearly we can see all the Hoysala style architecture. Very clearly. You'll see it in YouTube. If you go and see it, it will be easily available in YouTube and all that. Very clearly, there are Naga Devata is there. There are flowers are there. A typical Hoysala architecture, whatever you see in Belur Halabit, it is there on these temples. There's no denying it. It is the first hand. And then besides that, there is this Tipu's own submission written to the Persian Khalifa. In his own letters, he has written to Persian Khalifa how he has broken this temple down and built the masjid. All this is documentary evidence. The point I was trying to make was that his monument belongs to Archaeological Society of India. There is a clear-cut board outside the complex that this property should not be tampered with, meddled with by anyone. Serious actions will be taken whosoever try to tamper this monument with. There is a madrasa sitting right inside the masjid. There are classes going on. There are big loudspeakers put on the two minarets. There are two minarets, sitting things. And then every day, 5 times a day, that thing goes on. Now, what is archaeology department doing? All this is there in the document. All this is there on record. This is where the anger is coming out, because how long we will tolerate? 2 generations have gone. We didn't have a leader then. Today we have a leader. See, I don't align myself to any political party. If tomorrow Modi comes to Congress and does the same thing, probably I'll go and vote Congress. As simple as that. But definitely secular thing is something that is not working for this country. Having said that, I hate every Muslim. No, that's not the point. Point is that every Muslim in India is a converted Hindu. Let's get that fact. Including Owaisi. I was just going through Owaisi's the lineage. His 4th generation grandfather was a Hindu, Sitaram something. He was converted. All this is there. These records are available. So when we know that every Muslim in India is a converted Hindu, then it is time that we have to educate them, try to take them along with us, which Modi ji is trying to do by saying, sabka saath, sabka vikas, sabka prayas and all that. But the more you do, the more they are trying to go.
It is a big drama happening here. Vinay ji, Modi ji is saying sabka saath, sabka vikas, and Bommai ji is removing all the loudspeakers. What is happening here? Are you in agreement with what Patil ji said?
No, I agree kind of because what Patil ji is saying is the Muslim community is kind of they have their own beliefs and they're stuck with their beliefs.
And also to extend this question, is the archaeological department also doing appeasement politics here?
You know what? Archaeological society, they work on the behest of the government. And the government is what dictates. So the government is actually all these years, like 70 years, if you go back to the federal government level, right? They have always appeased the minority community for a vote bank. And they don't want to rock the boat. And they don't want any communal riots happening and stuff like that. So that's the reason, just leave it status quo. Do not rock the boat. If a mosque is existing in an Anjaneya temple, Hanuman temple, leave it there.
If Salam Aarti happening in Muhambika temple, leave it there.
leave it there. Do not touch it. Okay. So this is the thing. But now Hindu Jagraha hai. What has happened in the last 8 years or so, Hindu Jagraha hai, and what has happened, they are kind of realizing that a lot of, lot of things have kind of been suppressed. They have been suppressed. The community, Hindi community at large, have been suppressed to kind of stay at status quo level. They don't want them to rock the boat.
There are many such Muslim constructions in the form of mazars, mosques, dargahs, forts, eidgahs, and others where it is evident that they were on temple sites and or used temple materials to build the construction of that mosque. It is not only to Mandya. In Bangalore, it is also there. In Bangalore city, it is also there. Doddaballapur, Bidar, Vijayapur, Hampi, Mangalore. We have seen it. While they were renovating the dargah, they have removed the one part of that building. Then these things came out. It was visible to the public. Then public entered there and they collected the information. There were 3 sanctums, what we call Garbhagudi. There are 3 Garbhagudis. There is no concept of Garbhagudi in Muslim mosques. So this is just a beginning.
So what is the solution for Mandya Jama Masjid?
Automatically, as the Allahabad court interfered, Mandya High Court is going to interfere. Mandya means it is just a revenue district, but it's very near to Mysore. We can call it as a Mysore only. This is all the people there are Tipu's clans only. So as what happened in Gyanvapi, Kashi, same thing is going to happen everywhere, not only in Mandya. Everywhere, court has to take the cognizance of this one and release this one. Abolish the 1991 law which was made by Narasimha Rao, abolish it immediately or amend it. They have given the guideline of after the AAC, after the Christ birth, AAC 1947, amend it to BC 1947 and bring all the temples back to our old glory. Then only Mother India can be taken to her glorious status.
Absolutely. Yes, Patil sir.
Well, I completely told what Mr. Mahesh had said, everything, whatever I wanted to say, he said. We have to fix this in once and for all. Because it is not, okay, our life is more or less, why most of us were going outside country, brain drain and all that. That's because we could not fix this issue. The same thing is happening to our children, their children. So how many generations have to go through this nonsense in the name of secularism? Neither they are happy nor we are happy. Nobody is happy. So it has to go one way or the other. It is time, because we have the leadership today, we have the unity coming in. It is time that we fix
Yes,
it.
BJP is instigating these things. Because so far people never spoke.
No, BJP in fact has no nerve even to act on an official complaint. You saw that whatever you said, Bombay got the loudspeakers removed it and all that. It is not exclusive to Karnataka. It is happening all over the states. Madhya Pradesh it has happened, Uttar Pradesh it has happened, Assam it has happened. So many places it has happened. Not a single riot happened in Uttar Pradesh. Some 58,000 loudspeakers were removed. Not a single incident of stoning, rioting happened in UP. So it varies from state to state, ministers to ministers. I think by and large, BJP is not equipped to handle the so-called communal flair. Yesterday, one fellow was openly saying in the Supreme Court, the fellow who was representing the Muslims, he was saying that, yes, and today Rahul Gandhi in London, he said that BJP has put kerosene all over the state. All it requires is a spark. And people call him Papu. He is most dangerous fellow. So we must understand where this being taken to. Looks like 2024 is a big Mahabharat war is going to happen. He wants country to burn in the name of communal era.
Now, Vinayji, your last word. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I got two things to talk about here. Okay. Number one, and I'm going to make Mahesh ji happy with my statement here. Okay. So a lot of a lot of evidence is there with a lot of these structures, like, you're seeing in Gyanvapi. Now Jama Masjid is claiming that there is a Hanuman Temple inside, or there was a Hanuman Temple inside. So if the Archaeological Society and if the state High Court and the Supreme Court...
And Patilji goes to the extent of saying there is a temple Pushkarani there inside. They call it as Kalyani. We call it as Pushkarani in Sanskrit.
Those facts are evident, and if there is evidence of, if this is important, if there is evidence of those in proper state, like, not having been completely destroyed, and we don't know who destroyed them, it's absolutely impossible to kind of figure out who actually destroyed it. Because
Mandya was by Tipu Sultan, right?
No, we have had so many invaders. Like, we have India has been like
Tipu Sultan was a freedom fighter. We discussed about it already, but anyway.
Yeah, but it's like, like people say tourist destination, India was a fantastic destination to wage war, to conquer, to kind of loot the country. That was the destination. So people used to love coming to India, take the wealth and run away, right? And in the process, destroy the history, architecture, and stuff like that. So if there is strong evidence, sure, and based on the court ruling, give it back to the Hindus, and then also to make sure that, the minority community is not hurt, give them an alternative place where they can establish their mosque or, place of worship. So that is something which has happened in
So if somebody comes and loots my home, I have to give an alternative spot to build their own home.
Not you. I mean, like, what? Okay, that's where I'm coming to my second point. Okay, my second point. I'll make my second point very clear and very crisp. My second point: there are at least 10,000 or more temples. 10,000 or more temples in India, and I could be totally wrong on the statistics. Okay, there could be innumerable. Okay, but I'm just giving you an example. 10,000 or more temples that are in shambles, that are actually in ruins, and nobody has even bothered to go and worship any deity there. So you see those temples lying around in forests, in deserted places, and in villages, and nobody just bothers.
Because if the hundi money comes there, government will take it by this time.
Government has been in existence for 70 years in independent India, over 70 years.
There is no money coming there. That's why government didn't take it so far.
Probably, who knows? But you know what? If a gentleman, whether he's a Muslim, whether he's a Christian, or whether he's a Buddhist, comes along and says, you know what? I'm going to make this something nicer, and he takes that thing, the property, and makes it a nice mosque, makes it a nice church, and then after it's all done,
if they make it as a mosque or temple, you are okay with that.
And yeah, exactly. And if it is done, and somebody comes along later on, 20 years later, and says, wow, this is a fantastic, beautiful mosque. You know what? This belonged to a Hindu. This is a Hindu temple. So we should take it back. That, you know why? For hundreds of years, that has lain in ruins. Nobody has bothered. And now somebody wants to take it back. That is not acceptable.
Okay. Last word from Maheshji and Patilji. Last word.
Sir,
I know these guys are not going to be happy with my statement.
Sir, I just want to add one thing here. The wrong information should not go to your international audience. About the loudspeaker. Loudspeaker was not removed by either Bommai or Modi ji. It was 11-year-old Supreme Court order executed after 11 years. Till now, no one had the guts to execute that order. But in India today, please be aware that no communal riot is going to happen in India anymore. Law and order situation is so strong. So whatever is illegal, it is going to be destroyed, and the legal things is going to be settled up. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Yes, Patilji, final word.
Yeah, one last point. Actually, it's split into two. Further to what Vinayji said, that so many temples in shambles, nobody was taking care. So somebody came and made it a masjid, beautiful masjid. But now we go and stake claim on it. Well, that is not entirely true. In the first place, they were destroyed by invaders. Let's first accept that. People who have built a temple, why will they destroy it? It's like raising a family who, even the worst criminal psychopath will not destroy his family. So I don't think that these temples per se were in shambles or were not taken care, it's because they were destroyed by invaders, number one. See, at one point of time, we were the largest economy. The reason why people came to us is because we were the most evolved human beings on the earth. Okay, if you take the times backwards, thousands of years back, in the 11th century, 9th century, we were the most advanced civilization. That is why everybody came here. Persians came here, became one of us. But then the Mongolians came, but they wanted us to become one of theirs. That is where the conflict happened and invasion happened. But anyway, now coming to the other point, that what is the solution to this? Is simply today there is a free temple movement is going on. In fact, Bommai has already promised that he is going to present this bill in the next parliament, the assembly session, and get it passed. I'm confident he will do it. He's a very stern minister. But
Very,
the
very
problem
strong personality with a soft face.
absolutely very, very, very stern, very strong leadership. I mean, Modi ji has chosen whether it is Himanta Biswa, Yogi ji, to everybody knows already, Fadnavis, Bommai, very strong leaders. I think he has set the next stage for the next level of leadership across every state. He's developing Annamalai in Tamil Nadu.
Right.
Fantastic. Yeah. So coming back, fixing this problem, freeing the temples is not going to completely, make us very happy. Somebody has to take care of these temples. But if either you follow the constitution 100%, or you rectify the constitution and bring it back to original constitution, which is Ambedkar wrote. Either one of the things have to happen. If you fix the constitution, I think none of these things need to be discussed actually. This is my view.
Absolutely. But it was great talking to each one of you, and thank you.